So I'm a historian, author and broadcaster. I've loved history since I was a child. And I noticed that women were often written out of history. So pretty early on, I decided I wanted to make it my mission to write them back in. So I wrote a book on Helen of Troy. I wrote a history of Istanbul, writing women back into the story of the city. And I've just written a book on Venus and Aphrodite. So I love looking at the gaps in history, finding new evidence, particularly new archaeological evidence. There's nothing more exciting than digging a field and something comes out of the earth that's been there for 2,000 years, and then trying to make sense of that in the context of wider society. It's certainly a challenge to write about characters from myth and goddesses who probably didn't exist, but you just have to be very robust with the way that you use your sources, and also just enter the world that they inhabited, because they were real for people of the past. People really believed in Helen of Troy as an idea and as a literary character. They believed in Venus and Aphrodite. So I look at the archaeological evidence, I look at the evidence in writing where people have described what this character meant to them, and really critically, I always go to the place where history happened. So I cannot write history unless I inhabit the landscape where it took place, because it feels to me that's the honest way of writing history. So I travel around the world in order to write the books. How brilliant, if you're thinking of being a writer, it's the most beautiful thing to spend your time doing, because you're sitting on a chair at a desk somewhere in the world, but you're inhabiting other worlds, whether those be geographical or cultural or in terms of other genders or places or spaces or times. So it's a beautiful thing to do, because you're living in constant companionship with your own imagination and inhabiting the world of others. So what I would say is enjoy that, never feel constrained. There are no limits to the human imagination. We always think we're not quite good enough, that everybody else around us is better, that we shouldn't really be doing it. But we all have enormous talent. And I think one of the most beautiful things I once heard a teacher say is that you should never look at how intelligent a child is, but how is that child intelligent? And we all have something particular and unique to add to the story of the world and to human experience. So even if you're doubting yourself, just know that you have something to share with the world. We should welcome the unknown, the unexpected, the unexperienced across our thresholds. And I think that's what writing allows you to do. It allows you to imagine the other, to immortalize that in words, and then to share that with your readers. So never give up, enjoy it, love the imagination, and be a writer. It's the most brilliant thing to do. It's an incredible shared heritage that we have. So we speak languages which are based on Proto-Indo-European, so we share words and ideas, and I love the fact that when you read something untranslated that's come from India and something that's written in English, often the same words are being used in the same way, even though they're separated by thousands of miles. So there's both a kind of two-way street between those literary traditions. We learn from one another, but we have a common ground, and that's something that we should consistently celebrate.